In the type sheet and the Gazeru.
The Falcons sent out and 2 players left alone on the backside there. And for
Just increase the quality, guys, okay?
power, they and they quickly shimmied through, and they know they've got the firepower to make it happen as well. Fireflux still roaming in vehicles as a position to play for them as they come further down from that north side. Yangon Galacticos as well as Alter Ego playing it safe and slow on the north.
Welcome to this, always an alive.
The Ego fans there as well, flying the banner. Currently in 4th place, all 4 players alive, 51 points to their name. Nearly 50 points ahead for Yangon. That's just the disparity that we're working with inside of this lobby. Nonshin just playing on the ridge here, upwards hill, 5 for them towards Hora that have just been scouting, looking on the periphery to see if there is an opportunity to actually take a clean fight to this. Cover to work with Doc C at least having a bit of protection from the hovercraft.
Circle shifts out over towards that western side. Eda's got a great position, by the way. A lovely spot to work around with. It does cut you off slightly in terms of sight lines over the ridge there, but in terms of safety, very, very nice. The only problem will come into effect when they let teams get too close, because suddenly you become very nadeable, and that is a possibility over the fields, but not until much later in the game where we start cutting out a lot more teams. So right now, Eda's got a very, very strong position to play from, which is promising for their late game. Not so promising for a lot of teams over on the edge. They feel like they've been lied to on this circle. Will have to slowly force their way through pretty rough terrain through Quarry to get over towards this western side, and even then you're heading over towards the swamps, over towards fields. E-Arena in fact gets themselves a very nice position on this beachhead. They can play over towards the plateaus to sit on that western side and drag this game out.
Yeah, this actually could work out well for them in the long con. Meanwhile now though, Blank, Compound move up round towards Alter Ego and Yangon. Low HP for Krypton, barely dodging the shrapnel from that one. Yeah, if he went down, it could have been uncomfortable. Protection from Moana at least as well. You could actually backstab up on towards Smile, and E-Arena are getting a little bit of a look in towards this one. In the meantime, Hora as well. We lose out on Sleepy as Fireflux take the engagement there, and this is what I was saying. I mean, E-Arena, you get Joker, instant tag there from the side. He's able to punish onto one of the players, break up the fight a little bit.
Yeah, this is a pretty wild fight though happening on our screens. It's Alter Ego in 4th place challenging against our current 1st placers in Yangon Galacticos, and Alter Ego take over the buildings just in miraculous fashion, and Yangon Galacticos really had nothing to say back to them. Now they're 2 players off towards the side of Rosemary, and Nate goes in, does a fair bit of damage, but no, not quite found yet. I think Murnat went down but was quickly brought back up into the fray.
Rosemary's low, forced to top himself back up with a temporary HP to play with on this one. Meanwhile as well, Team Secret up against 4 Thrives, and they're handling that one with ease, it seems. As a bit of damage even further gets thrown on top from Alpha Gaming, but Krypton finally
Alter Ego is on the phone, guys. Alter Ego is on the phone. Welcome
off the equation. They've got cover to work with to grab some of the additional resources as well. Meanwhile, down in the close quarters combat, Moana not really with a weapon of choice. You might have one heads up call to instead try and dip out through the window. He's caught because of it.
I think he should have just held his own. He's got the M249. He has ammo advantage there. I know he wants to get back to the rest of the team. Maybe a bit of a miscomm requesting he returns back over towards this building because they have the high ground advantage there. Oh, that is rough. That is very, very rough. Alter Ego going down to 3. And E-Arena waiting in the wings. Nongshim Red Force also taking heavy hits time and time again.
Scarier now for Alter Ego. throwing out the smokes. They know they're going to have to usher themselves a little bit further forward here eventually as well, with the zone starting to come in and cut off some of the play space inside of the compounds they've got.
What are you doing, man? What are you doing right now?
Next circle gets a little bit swampish over towards the north side. Actually a horrible circle. There's fields down towards the southwest. There's this one compound that Ida's currently holding. There's the disgusting terrain of Quarry that so many teams need to brave their way through. And on the north side, it's just the swamps that you are going to have to wade into no matter who wins on this north side between Yangon, Alter Ego, as well as E-Arena.
Rigo fans still trying to hype them up, hope that they'll walk away with their heads held high.
Oh, I'm good, Master. Thanks for asking, man.
Like you said,
and what about you?
On, the more uncomfortable it feels, with E-Arena just sort of perched up, looking for an opportunity to play. Romeo with the spray on the dive over. That's a bit of a chip back onto
nice one, yeah.
Rosemary. Actually, Joker as well, getting the spot in again. Same player, same play. Murnak goes down because of it this time. Fire Flux fighting out versus Power. Rosemary re-engages back onto them.
They lose Krypton. It'll be hard to get him back up from the position he's playing in, and Romeo will just take him out. So it's Alva and Rosemary, two players that we have touted a lot so far, but E-Arena is making this so uncomfortable. It's a heads up.
Only one player. What the fuck?
They know there's going to be barely any teams around this area, so they can just continue to put the hurt on both Alter Ego as well as Yangon Galacticos. It's Team Secret up against Nongshim Red Force, and the aftermath that came through. It's three separate teams to put the hurt on over towards Nongshim.
Wait, that's a nice one.
With a quick starter step on the peak with the DBS, hoping that he'd be blessed on that one, but it's not going to work from distance. Quick barrage of bullets straight to the face, so low on health. Single tap's all they need to at least convert that one and guarantee the Eaglin point off the back of Rosemary. E-Arena just edging further closer towards this, feeling more and more comfortable that now's the time to just go for it.
E-Arena very much emboldened by these players. That's a good name from Turney K, who now looks to send the shots through the build. Romeo goes down, leaving only Alva now for Alter Ego, and he should not be up too much longer.
Doesn't really have the close range potential. It's the SMG, good for one, but he's left out in the cold. They trade back and get the pick-me-up play on Joker as well, so they'll still remain as a 4-player squad.
And we are cutting teams out left, right, and center down to 9, but only 28 players at the 20-minute mark here. Ida has just been laughing their heads off. This has been such a comfy game for them to play through. Super relaxed, taking a spa day right now. But Weibo has been dominant over towards the south side. From their cutout from Primorsk over towards Quarry, they have slowly backed things up, just the 9 teams out towards the eastern side of the map. That is not what you want to see. I think this is a nice call from Ida, but it's slightly
noise, guys.
That way.
We believe in Nova.
I thought this is an incredible call from Ida. I like the fact that they're pushing out here.
I mean, it's the time to go for it realistically. With Sakura in this position, if they could at least build off the back of it, a bit uncomfortable with the vehicles, but let's see how it goes. That's not what you want for Emre. Nate straight round on the side.
They're not tagging
him from HP. And you're right, man. They're just not getting enough to engage from this.
Need to get Emre out of that. I mean, he's not getting back up. They might have just fed across one elim to E-Arena, and now they realize that actually we need to go play back in these buildings. They do slow E-Arena down at least, and they're hoping that the remnants of whatever comes out from Quarry, it is going to be a case of those are 3-man, 2-man squads, but with how dominant Weibo's being, it's likely they'll be leaving with not only a lot of eliminations, but also quite a few players still on side.
It's a clean line of sight down onto 4 Thrives, and they're so broken up as well with the placement that Valak just can't assist on his teammates, so Weibo are able to grab that one with absolute ease. Now you're pinned in position as a last man solo there. They've just had great lines of sight up on top of this ridge for so long. All the teams that have tried to move out from any kind of cover have just been taking so much damage from it. The only team that actually did get out was
the video, guys. I
show up to finish off Regnum Kari.
That was the video. Can you tell me?
Power, they've had a bad time. They had a bad
That's
time in those
what
warehouses. The fact that they've been able to continue to push through on some difficult timings is really nice to see. Weibo taking out the remainder of Thundertox here. Sook with some fantastic aim on side with the signature bow in hand too.
Thanks, man.
And
I was the
Thundertox
edit.
did not make that cross.
I was the edit.
No fund up, no talking, just bullets from downrange. DRX, 2 players again here as well. Hyunbin still standing. His brother in arms taking a bit of a hefty hit from that one. It's Falak that's kind of just belly crawling up to see if he can get any kind of impact to just keep his nose clean. Nice nade thrown over, barely off target there.
No.
Shots from the side and a quick swipe that comes through from Falak of all players. He will finally be taken down, and Weibo continues to just rack up point after point after point. 8 elims now held on side, and Fireflux with consistency, which is great to see.
Lovely
Before we were wondering if the bonfire would start to die down after that last match, but no, they are still here to play here on our angle.
He even spotting vision back out onto Ida. You are pinned in position as well. E-Arena looking to clean up the first man they took out so long ago with Emre on that kind of flubbed push they went for. They're scrapping amongst one another.
Let's hope for the next match, guys.
And Weibo,
You're not going to miss
360-degree vision with a lot of the fights that have been going on, with opportunity to steal fights.
Had a lot of impact here. Again for Ida, sending over towards the north. What a fun game this has been. For Ida, it's a case of Emre going out too far. His off angle is way too much. Yes, they missed the nades on it, but he was never getting back out of that situation, right? They had to full commit there. It's a great nade that gets sent in by Aaron.
I don't know, guys.
Follow-up from the DBS is good as well. The nade to establish it, Shotty to blow the legs away. Mormon in panic stations now as well. Luckily, heads up call, dips down to the ground floor, able to get out and stay away from the nade, but they roam into it. Mormon replies, close down onto Ida, but look who's here, waiting to strike again. He could very well be him if he's able to find the follow-up impact that they're looking for on this one, with E-Arena reeling to recover.
Fireflux looking to make their setup here, taking shots down the side. Scarface looks for the long-range engagement over towards Weibo. E-Arena cowering over towards the buildings on the western side. Power, through it all, is still in this game.
Yes, we will
still
get the chicken,
running,
guys.
not quite on empty. The power still spiking on the meters.
There is chances of FF to get the chicken
down towards
because like his team, all alive.
Points are incredibly interchangeable. You can find yourself up in 4th easily off the back of a chicken dinner on this match.
The potential to jump up is there in full force.
Anybody can happen, guys.
The potential for some explosive plays from Sook could very well be coming our way as well. Right now he's just zoning towards E-Arena, keeping those shots going one after another to make it uncomfortable for them. But Fireflux sees this opportunity to get a little bit closer, more cover to work with, block off the sight lines from any power maneuvers, and instead cause carnage up close versus Weibo. Soulless goes in. Quick burst from the damage. 2 players on low HP. One of them converted as Sook switches to the Shotty. Doesn't need the bow as he's quick with the secondary as well.
Right now, quick heads-up maneuver coming through from Fireflux to just send down. Sook's already done quite a bit here. Really has ruined the health bars of Fireflux. He immediately drops to the deck, and this might be a power game.
Going uncontested. There's no need to fight. They can just wait. Everyone else has been scrapping amongst one another, so they're just sitting pretty for the opportunity to even play the game. And after the back of that commotion inside of the basement, it's just E-Arena power that are left.
Goodness me, E-Arena starting the game down towards the beaches now find themselves in a rough scenario like sand. And the sands of time is running out here as Power starts to move forward, finding damage over to Mormon as well as turning K, who's not quite able to punch out that position. They have angles on them. Vahiden starts off with one over towards Turny K, and it's just Mormon as Power starts to descend.
and we would need to see more man from this man, as right now he's trying to get bullets
Love
range,
it.
but Vahedon's got him spotted, and Power bring the punishment. A game where they were allowed to play slow. You forgot about Power, but they live up to their name and take the chicken dinner on that one.
It's a great performance as well because it shows that they can play slow, they can play it passive, they can play it patient. Power isn't all just about those big elims, those big plays. And again, they got caught very early with little to no resources. They jumped on top of it over towards those two players. These very, very nice maneuvers coming through from Power and set themselves up on that northeast side as well, understanding that most teams probably will be looking for that compound. Everyone kind of misinterpreted the power of the swamp.
Yeah, they were confident enough to play with the open sight lines and just grind it down. And the teams did that work for them. They take the chicken dinner though, and another game closes as we get closer and closer to our...
के भएन अहिले ब्रेक चलिरहेको छ ब्रेक सकेपछि हामी हेर्छौँ न त हैन के छ त हैन गाइस ठीक छ त हैन कोले बोलाइराथ्यो मलाई अघिदेखि मिसाले हो क्या मिसा The break is here, guys. We एउटा चिकन त चाहिरहेछ होला त्यही भने आज त 70 प्लस मा जानुपर्छ कि टोटल पोइन्ट्स मा 70 प्लस मा 70 80 प्लस मा हान्नुपर्छ बल्ल म लाउँदा नत्र त अलिक त्यस्तो गाह्रो छ के लिटकिन गरे कति छ पोइन्ट अरे गाह्रो छ कति मिनेटको ब्रेक हुन्छ केटा एउटा टिडिएम भए हुन्छ मैले हैं कति मिनेटको ब्रेक हुन्छ भन त तिमीलाई थाहा होला नि हेर्न त म अर्को मोबाइलबाट नि हेर्न सक्छु कि तर म तिमीहरुको च्याट हेर्नुपर्छ कि च्याट हेर्नुपर्छ च्याट Let's go for TDM, yes. In break, let's go for like हामी नि हात तताम न हैन ब्रेक मा because if I play well, they play well. Yeah, no. हल्का छास्ता वाला गाह्रो हो गाइस यहाँ स्टोर BST 2 मिनट को 2 मिनट को ओके 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 2 मिनट मै सकाइन्छ मलाई गेम दुई सिको पे पिङ आयो त हो केटा हो पिङले साथ दिँदैन के म जी पिङ साला 172 1TD मा हुन्छ होला त्यही भने 180 को पिङ हेर न फेरि मेरो पिङ पनि के हो नेपाली नेपाली पढ्दा पनि यस्तो हाई पिङ आउँछ यार म्याथ ओ म्याथ चुत मैले चिक्ने यो टिडीएम पनि उनी लौडी जस्तो यो बमसम हान्ने नगरम नि यार खेलम न यार यस्तो एम्पर सेम्पर टल्काम न खै के म नि हान्छ त मलाई हान्छ साउडे स्लाइड हाने हेर स्लाइड हाने अर्कोले जी मेरो पिङ हेर न साथी अनि त्यो भन न मेरो पिङ यस्तो हुन्छ अनि कसरी खेल्छु होला मैले भन त नेपाल भएको कस्तो सेक्थ्यो होला खाना खाएर सुतिसक्यो खाना खाएर सुतिसक्यो सकायो छुट्टी रे के भने मैले बुझिन यो पिस्तोल सिस्टोल हान्दिरहेको त हो रनमा दिजहरुले त हेर्ने यस्तो क्याम्पर छ नेपाली हो फेरि क्याम्पर सुतिसक्यो को सुतिसक्यो भन जा धेरै हान्ने नै ग्रेनेडहरु ए सरी खोदेको मजी खाएँ जुटिया भगर कामबाट आयो तिमी खेल म सबै म्याच सुरु भएन भन है गाइज सुरुबाट हेर्नुपर्छ हट्न कस्तो अड्काइदिएको रन नतिकिसक्ने तिमीले खायो साथी यस्तो साथी के छ उसने हेर्न साथी कसले हानेको नेट पनि यस्तो स्लाइड चाहिँ नहान्न हो लौडीको बेबो थाहा त्यसो यहाँ थाहा त यहीँ हेर्दा 639 भएको छ बल्ल यहाँ हेर के 639 खाना खाँदैन sliding yeah you SMS you also slide don't slide okay because they are like you know gay sliding oi के हानेको साइको हाने हेरेल त कसम भने you match रानी को थोड़ा be careful दुटे रानी र मात्र तो मात्र छ सिक्ने बडी मजे एरोस हो के खाते मात्र छ M24 हान्ने दिस इज एरोस यु नो मैच सिक्ने एरोस you sliding bro why the fuck you sliding bro hey herna maji eros mother chot
half of the match is over and the red team is
come eros shit चिकनी eros खाते के भइरहेछ हाम्रो अलि चल्ली
kemarin mungkin kita bakal ngelakuin itu lagi cuman mungkin agak lebih connect lagi satu sama lain ya karena kemarin kita memang rada jauh sih ya bisa dibilang karena kita juga di center circle kita nggak bisa maksimalin itulah dengan karena kemarin kita nge-split memang rada jauh sih ya bisa dibilang karena kita juga di center circle kita nggak bisa maksimalin itulah kita main dari outer kita nggak bisa pas kita dapat kesempatan main di mid tapi kita nggak maksimalin defense-nya lah gitu lah.
I think in general our strategy is still correct. We're still gonna play a split, but we gonna have a
Translator,
better communication
ये
and
अंग्रेजी
have a
बोलना
better
होता है ना?
connection within each other. Because even last
नेपाली हो, then translator,
yesterday,
foreign गिरा.
when we play in the outer side to the inner side, we got the circle already, but we just don't play good enough. So that's why I think we're losing in that battle. And for today, we're trying to have that better connection.
I think that's also part of being one of the best teams on stage here. You got to recognize your mistakes, and you got to own them, and then you got to rectify them. Rosemary, thanks so much for joining me in this first match interview. We are halfway through day 2 of the PMWC Grand Finals. Things are really heating up. The pressure is being dialed up to a level. We can't wait to see what these teams bring in the second half of today. Back to you guys.
Well, they might be happy with it, but the catch-up still got to be on for teams like Alter Ego to try and take that number 1 spot here. Let's take a look at the overalls and see what we're working with so far after our 9th game has concluded. Currently, Yangon still in number 1 with those 96 points. Thankfully for the rest of the lobby, though, they did not run away with anything in this previous one as Alpha Gaming still on those 80. And now we're slowly getting a little bit of a catch-up for these teams here, Neptura, but that lead is quite big.
Yeah, I was just noticing it is looking a little bit more like we're having a gap as we get closer to that deciding that match point, right? That is not ideal for any of those teams in 3rd place and below. I will say only 20 points between 3rd and 8th place, right? But that little bit of a gap, it's starting to get bigger and bigger as those games go on, and that's exactly what we were talking about before.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking at Alter Ego. I don't know what you're happy about. You're currently just so far behind in regards to 1st place. I want to see them being able to win some games for Alpha Gaming. I also kind of want them to have just a dominant performance that we haven't really gotten a chance to see out of them. Yes, we're getting a chance to see a win out of you guys. You guys have been able to maintain yourselves there in contention to only 16 points behind. But I want to see the Alpha Gaming that a lot of people expect here with a dominant win. And one team that I do want to talk about real quick before we go to the second page there was Power. Power, outside of that win, only 4 placement points. Please follow up this win with just more placement points, at least a minimum a top 5.
The Arena is going to try and challenge some these teams down towards the bottom, but even with them doing so well in this previous one, still only tying Team Secret for that 15th place spot. And now, with us having ourselves a little bit of a reset for some of these teams, like the Alter Ego situation, right? If you're going to make these splits happen, it's a fine line between looking like a genius and not having it work completely at all. And in some games, they do look like a genius when they take those splits, but it's about knowing when you can get away with those splits.
It is. It's all about knowing where the zone is gone, what the other teams are going to be doing, what the terrain looks like when you're in those spaces as well. It's all about that map knowledge and knowing the other teams around you. If you know that you can get away with a certain split that's a little bit risky, but based on everything else it's going to do well, then cool. But the problem is when you don't know those things, or you just go for it without any sort of information or any sort of backup for that, that's where it all falls apart. And you know, he was talking about a little bit, Seven, you know, the communication. They want to have better communication. If you're going to make big splits like that, it's so vital that you actually have good communication for that.
It definitely is, and it comes down to those fights. And as you mentioned earlier, that fight earlier on just took way too long with Yangon, allowing the Arena to just come and just pretty much start picking them apart. You need to be fully set. If you're going to be able to get the fight, just use those angles that you guys usually get. Use those splits that you guys usually get to just finish off a fight like what we were able to see during survival stage. Right now, I'm not seeing the Alter Ego that I expected to see here in this situation.
Well, of course, thank you very much, guys. We're going to head over to the stage now and see what Veracity's got for us over on the stage.
Welcome back, everybody, to day 2 of the Grand Finals here at PMWC. My name is Veracity, and if there's one thing that I've learned throughout the duration of this event, it's that eliminations don't necessarily guarantee chicken dinners. And match 1 is certainly proof of that. Let me tell you that right now. We saw Regnum Caria, who opted to secure some placement points, but unfortunately they fell down short to none other than Alpha Gaming with the power of the dockening. Those boys managed to secure themselves 12 eliminations and 10 placement points. What do you make of that, Barney?
Well, Veracity, what do I make of that? I make a map number 2. It seems like most teams are actually still alive at stage 3 of the circle, meaning most of our teams are playing a little bit more passively. But the final face-off was between Yangon Galactic Ops and Fireflux Esports, with Yangon taking 19 points and the chicken dinner, but also Fireflux managing to secure 12, I was about to say 17, what's wrong with me? 12 elimination points as well. Map number 3 was an opportunity for teams to climb that leaderboard because the top 2 teams were eliminated fairly early on. So DRX had an opportunity. The duo, they fought valiantly, but ultimately they were taken out. And Power Esports, our local heroes, they managed to secure the chicken dinner. GG's all around. You know what, Veracity? It's day 2. The birds are chirping, everyone's singing, and players are getting gunned down left, right, and centre, and I'm loving it.
You know what, Barney? I'm absolutely here for it. So without further ado, let's go ahead, dive into match number 4. We're good, and get the shot on the road.
Okay, baby, let's get it going. Hey, look, it's going to be a lot of fun here in Timid Reflections. That we're joined by John. We head into map 4. We already have, well, really a 2-horse race at the moment towards the top. Yangon Galacticus have been highly consistent from yesterday. Of course, 3 winner chicken dinners, dwarfing everyone who currently sits at 1. That is the max. Yangon Galacticus in a totally different stratosphere, even when it comes to eliminations at 54. Alpha Gaming, though, very close to them. And the team to potentially catch up. The question is, can we also add an additional racer? In this case, DRX. They are the closest. We got our official map feed, by the way. Go and check it out, and it's live right now on YouTube, so you can know where everybody is at and follow along with the commentary. John, Yangon Galacticus taking the tournament by storm. It looks like they just refuse to slow down.
It is a little bit unexpected as well. A lot of other names in this tournament were presumed to be on the front page where they are not, up towards the top of the tables where they are not as well. And we were wondering if Yangon Galacticos could come in from yesterday, obviously having a massive day 1. It's not often that we see that continue in such a fashion, but this time around, Yangon Galacticos have managed to solve the puzzle. The question is, can they keep that pace up? Because they are streets ahead of everybody else, up and over that 10-point average, right? And that is what we look at for the metric to think about a first place team, right? Over that 10-point average as our teams are getting ready to drop on it. Hey, that's Sanok. We don't need that anymore. We're going back over towards Erangel for the final time today. The grassy pastures await as we will send our 16 finals teams once again over and into the skies.
Let's get it going. The big thing for today off the back end of these maps, for any of those rosters who are below first place, which is setting the threshold going into Smash Point tomorrow, you've got to catch up. You really do. If you're Alpha Gaming, DRX, especially when you drop down to Fireflux, Weibo, and Power, you've got a long way to go. We're talking at some points 40 plus or more points that are needed in order to reach the theoretical threshold, which who knows where it'll be. Yangon Galacticos are on fire. This game, they could apex 100 points. That is the reality. But here it is, our last Erangel of the day. Before we head into back-to-back Miramars, it's always fun. That last zone was wonderful to see, but we haven't had a true military zone today, so I'm hoping we get a little bit of that action.
Hey, you never know. We have had a few of them so far this tournament, though. I think we've had 2 military circles already gracing us with their presence at the moment. And as I said before, that 10-point average is what you look at for the top team. So obviously, with the Smash ruling, the number of matches played in this set are variable. If it goes the distance, we'll get up to 18 matches at the end of day 3. That is if nobody wins via Smash ruling. So 180 points, it's likely you're at least in the running for that first place spot. So we'll have to see if our teams can keep up that pace. I think coming into this tournament, looking at Fireflux right now, being the main contender from Europe, from Turkey, this is not the team that you would have put at the top of the list, right? You have Falcons from the Europe region.
That's right.
You have also Regnum Kaya from the Turkish region, such a passionate region. Coming into the season even, right? Fireflux were kind of down in the dumps, so to see them now up in 4th place, it is a great return to form coming through for them, but they are still so far behind Yangon Galacticos. It feels so unlikely to be able to take this one.
Yeah, everybody. I mean, 3 winner chicken dinners is insane, right? In grand finals, and that's going to be so valuable going into tomorrow's competition when they do, or if they do, I should say, rather, pass the threshold. Well, they are a team that has proven that they can win. And the scary thing, they've proven they can win consistently on Erangel, which is map number 2, 3, and 4. So the tournament could very well end in just 2 maps, but like you said, it could also go the distance. And
go to the final map number 6. And even for the team that wins, right, you got to consider the standings still matter. Getting as many points as possible is still critical, even if you don't necessarily have a chance to win, because once that team does in fact conclude the tournament, where you stand is where you're ending the tournament, right? That's the amount of money you're going to be making. So if you go into map number 3, the team who's eligible for Smash Point, they win the tournament, and you're sitting in 8th place, you're not happy with that? You don't have a choice. You don't have any more games to go through and ultimately elevate yourself up the standings. So every point matters. And for some of those rosters towards the bottom, they seriously need to get to work. But as we do start talking about map number 4, we've got a northern zone. Quite a few teams need to make their way up. And obviously I look at ThunderTalk, APG, Weibo, who now have to go across that western bridge where 4 Thrives is currently at, albeit there is still plenty of time. But 3 teams in military, it's about the max you want to see over there.
Yeah, it's not too many more that could reasonably stay at each other's arm's lengths and be nice and safe. I imagine Weibo are going to go for a rotate through the water, whether that's on hovercraft boats, will depend on what they've been able to find around the coastline. They can send over towards potentially Primorsk from this drop, so not really going to be Previously, we've also seen 4 Thrives depart from the ferry pier area fairly early on and not contest APG on this rotate. It's not impossible. I don't think 4 Thrives are going to go for a bridge camp, especially with the river sat right in the middle of the circle.
Yeah.
You want to put yourself in a position to go north, to go south of that river at the drop of a hat, because it currently splits the middle of the circle. It's my least favorite circle in the game.
Okay, fair enough. Well, you mentioned Weibo. They do, in fact, rotate out, and the hovercraft is going to be great for in-game or potentially just any fights that you get out into the open. Hovercrafts are critical, in my opinion, when it comes to rotations on Erangel. The fact that they already have one is great. He is going to go ahead and go inland as far as he can with Sook. So let's see what is up ahead, which will be DRX, but still plenty of distance between the two. And I agree with you on the 4 Thrives narrative. Just looking at the map, with them being split up in that 2-2 split, I don't see them gatekeeping APG. We don't know what might end up happening, but for 4 Thrives, they are a little bit further down than they probably want to be. Maybe getting a bit aggro might be the answer for them, but I've seen a lot of mistakes today.
I think that has been the story of this tournament so far. Certainly for the finals, it's just a lot of mistakes being compounded one on top of the other. And Yangon Galacticos are sitting there just sort of not doing anything necessarily particularly special, but they're just not making these mistakes that other teams are. And it has allowed them such an advantage in this scenario. You can't be letting teams get away with this at this stage. We are now over halfway through our grand finals. This match is the first match of the second half of these grand finals, in fact. But you can't be letting teams get away with things like this. And at this level of gameplay, it's disappointing.
I think it is, and we came into this tournament thinking it's going to be the most competitive finals we've seen, and so far it's been great. We've had plenty of wonderful moments, but these back end 3 maps, I want to start seeing those rosters who are maybe, number even, honestly, at this point, even Fireflux down, start to get active, get involved, and get busy. Let's get aggressive and let's start playing like your tournament life is on the line, which it is. You want to make sure you are the champion. It's wide open. Alpha 7 are no longer here. This is the time to take the bull by the horn and full send it. Weibo still rotating up. Alter Egos, they're going to be taking the northern side, maybe even up towards Severny, depending on how they decide to play this current zone, but it's getting quite contested up towards the top. You've got Ida, you've got, of course, Fireflux, and you've got Noxium Red Force, who's also fighting for center control.
Northeast of Qing, trying to move up towards Yasnaya, potentially going over for the bridges on that direction, but they divert from one another, and again, no casualties to be seen on this circle. It's more likely that you're going to try and put control around a bridge position, which is why I'm looking at what Power have done. Quite close to where Fireflux are right now, but they have control over quite a few crossings as it stands. Their split is fairly wide, and teams will start to test them on that. They will start to prod around Rozhok on the north side for the bridges, around Yasnaya for the west side on those bridges, and I imagine that Power are going to have to reconfigure at some point, because they do still have 2 players on that south split. split. So we'll wait and see how long they try and hold that one and see if they can keep up their heads.
Let's see it. You know, splits can be quite punishing. Sometimes the juice isn't worth the squeeze, but for Power, I think they should be all right. After all, they are coming off of wins, so I think the confidence is truly there. Would love to see Power elevate themselves up the standings. Currently in 6th place, not very far behind for breaking into top 3, but they do have some distance between not only APG and ultimately Yangon Galacticus. So for Power, if they can do well here, this could be a tremendous game. 4 Thrives have finally moved away from the western side bridge, giving space for APG to go across, and ultimately for 4 Thrives, one up closer and closer towards Yangon Galacticus, and ultimately that of DRX. Still plenty of distance between the two. They should be just fine. Everybody plenty of space. Nobody's dropped yet, so very slow early goings in the initial game.
Yeah, 4 Thrives currently just rocking up to that ruined split that will sit around those bridge crossings. And again, I'm going to re-emphasize this. Teams are going to be looking to control those crossings. With a team, with a circle that is split down the middle with this river, those positions are going to be huge, not only in terms of your ability to rotate yourself, but in the ability to control other teams around you. So this split for 4 Thrives, pretty solid right now, with DRX being that counterpoint on the north edge. The west side is starting to get really difficult. Next circle pops in. This is nasty all the way up to North George.
I love it. I really do. And look at how many teams now have to rotate to the western side of the map, get up top. The whole northern parts, shooting range and above, completely free, but maybe not for long. We haven't lost a player yet, but John, I think we're about to lose our first.
Oh, these bridge crossings are going to get brutal now. DRX, they're moving away from it, which might allow 4 Thrives to get on through nice and quickly, but the first knock comes on through. It's over towards Nongshim Red Force. This is over by Fireflux as well.
Go guys, let's go. Come on,
guys. Let's do not want to allow the team from South Korea to get out unscathed from this area. They're on the long side of the circle. In 20 seconds, it'll start closing. It's early stages, so you can hang out in the blue zone for a while, but they don't have too much time.
Tell you what, we talk about Yangon Galacticus, APG, and how well they've been playing today, but Fireflux, we got to give them their flowers, John. I mean, we're talking a 2nd and 3rd place in back-to-back maps, 12 eliminations in game number 8, game number 9 sitting at 9, so they're elevating themselves up. Now, for Fadim, he's moving forward, Sleepy just up above, he'll park the bus, move away, and I thought he was going to fire on the vehicle. He doesn't, so Sleepy in survival mode currently in the shed.
Power going parallel to a lot of these other teams, slamming into the east side of the circle, trying to push themselves into these hills. Thundertalk right on the boundary of this next circle. They do need to move further in, but so do Alter Ego, and they are across the road from one another. You could see these fights are a little bit isolated from one another right now. A 2v1 on the north side in favor of Thundertalk, but a 3v2 on the south side in favor of Alter Ego. Across the road, they're looking for that pressure, and that's brilliant.
Oh, that's nice grenade, man.
Group 3 versus 3 for Alter Ego on this south point, but a big nade opens things up, and Moana can start to move in.
He's definitely going to move in. If he can time this right, he can get the shots on the King, and Nate is being cooked, but I think it's going to have an effect on Moana. Shuts the door maybe to throw off the scent of what Thundertalk is up to. Rosemary being down is going to be tough, however. He's been instrumental in these fights. He's so good, but Krypton, have good faith he's going to be able to get Rosemary back up. Moana, in the meantime, will continue to keep the pressure up, so Thundertalk can't push forward.
Ooh, they're going to get a res before he goes off on that nade. I don't think they did. Maybe looking for the re-knock. No. Just about able to squeak away from the damage there, and Thundertalk going to live to see another day as 4. Rosemary is still down. They had to reposition away from the nade. Krypton still with 2 in hand, but the pump action, the leap around the broken wall, not going to connect. Down again. Now Ting trying to cut through them, and it's Alter Ego to fall next to the team from EL. Thundertalk at the bottom of the tables get 4 points to add to their tally.
Beautiful job. Thundertalk refused to push up and get overly aggressive. They held their ground. Luckily, Utility wasn't able to reach them, but the way they played that was great. All 4 members stay alive, and more importantly, they've got a free and clear route straight into the current zone. Thundertalk, a potential strong game setting up, but the zone centers up to where it currently was. It still has those bridges and the river in play. 4 Thrive starts to look quite interesting as well, where they're currently at. Falcons too, but Falcons, I do worry about APG, Nongshim Red Force, who most likely are going to come up north right behind them.
Power को तो एक ही छ गया और
difficult on the south side. I mean, on the top of Everest right now, they'll be observing this Nongshim Red Bull's rotation. The question is, do they want to try and engage the fight before moving? That south side can offer a little bit of sanctuary if APG want to get ahead of it. They might just push up to play around those bridges, but with 4 thrives across the way, that's going to be pretty difficult to move up unscathed. Regnum Karya pushing up to the river, and again, these positions
like
near the
this
riverbank.
is the rule.
Very, very
They
valuable.
want they can use all same clothes and bags
heads down, but the more shots they
can't
fire,
use
the
any
more
other
activity they
so
potentially
that's
draw
why
in.
they are playing
Secret,
WC, that's
Ida,
why.
Fireflux, who's been very aggressive off the back end of the 2 games.
They have to
Thundertalk
use-
also moving in. So for DRX, they should be just
man,
fine because
don't
I
call me,
expect
man,
those
come on.
edge zone teams to maybe fight each
That's
other,
the
or at
rule,
least
that's
keep
the
each
rule.
other
You know,
at
as
bay.
master.
So in the meantime, DRX will continue to apply the pressure on Regnum Karya. APG though, Falcons, remember APG coming from the outside, now choosing to challenge that of the Falcons on the southern zone, and the nades are detrimental.
They're not going to try and hold on the top of Everest. They
That's the
descend,
rule of this
and
game.
immediately the southern point of the Falcons is dispatched, and this 2-2.
They can't use like
it feels
any
like
extra
they didn't expect
skills
another
as
team to be
well.
on the south coast. You can
Like
hold
you know
this
the
if
M4
you're
like
just facing off
the
against
Chinese
teams towards the
the
north.
ultimate skills.
But
They
they're
can't
just
use any
isolated
skills.
on that 2-player. There's no chance that Redox
They
and Ralph
can't
could have
use,
even
like,
gone in to
only
help
the
there.
normal one. Only the normal.
Again, I just have to question what the Falcons are thinking here. It feels like they are crumbling.
I agree 100%. Falcons have not been soaring high, and it's quite disappointing being the home team, being who they are, and knowing their potential. The finals just simply have not gone their way. They lose 2 players, and now you've got the players on the shoreline who are forced to keep their head down. Meanwhile, we transition on to Weibo versus Power. Power coming hot off of a big win, potentially elevating themselves up, and this is a critical fight, and the reason why Weibo Power are neck and neck in the point standings.
Trying to push one above the other right now. And Power with the inside track to this one. Remember, Power rotated all the way from the Yaz Bridge split that we saw earlier on. So they found themselves on the west side, on North George. Nongshim Red Force actually rotating in behind Weibo as well. Remember that long rotate that we saw earlier on, where they rotated around the south side of Everest. So potentially a 3-party fight in North George. Not unscathed. The blue zone has been taking them down, but they can chill out for a little bit because Weibo do not have sightlines.
And also Thundertalk and Ida are going to be fighting on the northern side. They start to get active, which might include Fireflux in just a little bit. So 3 teams converging and clashing up towards shooting range. Zone will rotate down. That forces Power to rotate in. But like I said, Ida, Fireflux, Thundertalk reposition. Jing taking a lot of damage. Scarface down low. You got to favor Fireflux in this moment. They've been hot. They've been slaying out. And they are looking to get active once again to catch up to DRX in top 3.
Thundertalk somehow managed to sail straight through the middle of them, and Scarface actually goes down for Fireflux. Not really in the best of spots either, fairly isolated. Thundertalk looking to disengage, get ahead of this rotation and get in towards the next circle. The slow pickup there may cost them a knock. As Sing hits the deck behind the rock, there's still pressure from behind. Fireflux looking for the res as well.
And Ida's in hot pursuit, mind you. They are not going to back down. They want to third party this, and they want to take advantage of the hillside where Rita is currently at, and Aaron, of course, and the rest are starting to move through. And now you've got Fireflux in this bowl. This is not going to be good for them, and most likely Ida is able to pick piece by piece.
Aaron on the hunt now, looking to try and capitalize on a downed player for Fireflux, but it's not quite come through just yet. Solus now is on the deck right next to Scarface. He's going to kneel up, go for this res, and then backed off the angle. Matcap putting lead down, putting pressure over towards the hillside, and that is going to allow this res to come through.
I am shocked Ida did not fully capitalize off of their location on the top ends, but hey, maybe they know something we don't. They look as if they're going to reposition straight into the zone, potentially to just stay ahead or maybe even disengage completely from this Fireflux fight. But even still, Aaron getting tagged up and he's forced to retreat. The straggler left behind.
Still fairly low elim counts across the board. 15 teams remain, the highest being Thundertalk with 4 elims. Of course, against Alter Ego, they're able to get a lot of value there. Their path is still the Fireflux are going to ensure that.
Nice one.
Slam straight in and against the rock. There's only one player now left standing. With Solus down though, Fireflux Are they disengaging from this?
There's no way. Why would you? We already witnessed Ida disengage. Now Fireflux does as well. Even though Thundertalk is a down player and only one with half health, it makes no sense.
I mean, there's teams off in the distance, maybe. They're looking to try and keep themselves safe from the third party, but losing 2 players, they're going to crash straight on into the middle. Scarface wants a little bit of an off angle here, but they spin him out. They crunch him on down. That nade actually did quite a lot of damage to Kaya, but Silas is there. There's a consistence from across the way. Catch. No way did he take down Regnum Kaya here. No way did they let this happen.
Catch, good connection. Regnum Kari is getting taken down. Silas has to look on helplessly. He cannot get down there and assist. The only thing he can do is try to keep Catch at bay. The solo from Fireflux. The solo might be able to get 3 clears. Another nade rolls in, but it doesn't connect. So Silas still has the maneuverability in conjunction with Loxy to maybe get Regnum Kari to the fight.
They can potentially go for the full reset here. It's a question of if Ketch can connect with another nade, or if a team from the south side gets angles on it. There's Loxy going down. 2 Thrives who are on the northern shore already. They managed to play the buildings on the east side on the cube and will spot the shot. But Wild was rezzed just before that knock was sent on in, which means that Regnum Kaya can still get the full reset.
Only 1 minute is standing right now.
It's going to be tough though. Catch refuses to back away. Being in the shed, he's not overexposing himself. Therefore, nobody can really get an angle. Now, with APG firing off from the distance, Silas has no choice but to back away and maintain his life.
The circle south ship again keeps the Falcons under the bridge alive. Potentially for APG. Nice little turn up. Nongshim Red Force, they've been trying to push their way in behind this engagement for a while. They have 3 players left standing with Weibo in their way as well, with 2 players on that roster, and Power off to the north, playing as 2 themselves. It's been scrappy in North George for a while now. He's really looking to push all the way out. I think Weibo closest to it.
Yeah, when the zone shifted, I knew these 2 teams were going to have to clash eventually, and unfortunately for Power, they've lost a lot, and they're going to continue to lose even more. Ragnar, who I believe has had an off day, the last one standing for Team Power. Nongshim Red Force, they want the final elimination, and there's nothing that tells me they're not going to be able to get it. Nongshim Red Force, a team trying to work their way up, currently in 10th place, but their tournament run is not over with just yet. Power finds a way to disengage and get out of there, but only for a little bit of time. I mean, Weibo most likely going to see him if he runs across the field.
And Yangon Galacticos across the way, very happy to be on the turret, overlooking the exit from North George right now. They've got control over a lot of this circle. Regnum Kaya sits out to the east, have that ridge line where Silas was hunting out towards the riverbank there, but that could potentially be challenged depending on how this fight on the north side concludes. With So Easy on that ridge, they're looking to try and take care of E Arena, and they need to try and fight it out now.
Well, Ida's fully eliminated. They were the ones getting into a fight with Fireflux and Thundertalk on the northern side, but even though they're gone, it doesn't mean the northern side is free and clear. DRX, E Arena, fighting currently for the hilltop control. Of course, they still have to move their way in, and when it comes to E Arena, they're taking some heavy damage. Joker barely able to stand up, finally dropped. This DRX continues to push up, continues to slay out, and there's no reason why I think they're going to lose this fight.
Unfortunately, though, DRX have a knock on their backline and potentially oh goodness me, potentially an off angle coming through from Team Secret on their western side. This is dangerous. This is pretty tricky to navigate, but they do still have the momentum advantage. Nongshim Red Force, by the way, eliminated over in the northwest side. So were Power. So only Weibo going to have a chance to get out of North George there. Another nade sent on over, but look at the angle that Silas has. This is brutal oversight onto this fight.
Here it goes. They're clashing. They're up close. By Hyunbin. Great shots, but also a little bit of damage through the smoke. He drops, and look, Silas with the off angle, just peppering shots on anybody he possibly can. It's even going to be Toshpik taking down a DRX player. And by the way, update, Regnum Kari does manage to recover, get off four members up. They still have great legs in this map.
Definitely a lot of opportunity here for Regnum Kaya. At the point standings that they're at right now, they do need every blessing they can get. Yangon Galacticos are still alive, though. They have 3 elims. They're in a really solid spot. The difficulty will potentially be in their run out when it comes to stage 7, that sort of phase of the game. You could see Silas, as soon as he gets rid of E Arena on that far side hill, their position goes sky high in terms of its potential, right? You just need to take down the arena. You start to extend your line north, south. They're right on the edge of this next circle. They'll have to contend with Team Secret trying to push it from the north edge, but E-Arena going to have to move first.
I do wonder where Fourth Thrives are going to decide to go. They're a bit split on the river side, so they wanted to control both ends. They got to move up. If they go up north, they're going to run into Regnum-Karya, and that engagement that's taking place with Team Secret, E-Arena. For the other two, if they go down low, it's not going to be easy for them either, but they're forced to move forward. That's going to be into Redox. The solo from Team Falcons, and Phallic is going straight into him.
Phallic is going to continue that crash on the south side. Noki does get pinged away there by Ziol, who is overlooking that south side of the bridge. The fact that the southern shoreline is still in is crazy. This is the only reason, really, that Alpha Gaming are still alive in this one. Fourth Thrive's going to go for a swim, going to try and meet up with Phallic on that western side.
They have to, because APG is also about. So you got the solo from Falcons with Redox, and then you also have APG fighting desperately for control on the southern side. Wavo a little bit too far away. I don't think they're going to have an effect, but maybe so. This Regnum-Karya fight is still ongoing, and it's taking place with a ton of distance. You've got E-Arena still firing on Wild and Co. in the south. You've got Team Secret, who's still looking to find a couple of positions. But all of this right going down is favorable for Yangon Galacticus to potentially apex 100 points and, more importantly, get another winner chicken dinner.
It could be massive here. They are 1 point shy, and there's placements yet to be added for them. They will be crossing the boundary over into triple digits here on match number 10. A beautiful average, still keeping pace. Can anyone take it away from them now? Because Silas has been re-knocked. They do manage to get rid of E-Arena, but two players now down on the deck as Team Secret push in on the long spit ridgeline against Regnum-Karya, and it looks like there's no resistance.
Silas Toshpik now fully gone for Regnum-Karya. Two more with a sliver of health. Wild looking at IQ from a distance. Loxy forced to hit the dirt, get a little bit of health before he re-engages onto the fights of the four-man unit from Team Secret, who continues to push up. Now, we do notice IQ gets active on APG, so that Fourth Thrives rotate in. It takes down the solo from Falcons, and it also engages into the APG fight, which a couple of players are going to be down as we look at Team Secret once again pushing forward on Loxy, on Wild. I want to say for Regnum-Karya to recover. When you looked at him earlier, 3 players down. Silas, the guy to try and keep them up, and they managed to recover, and they're still up fighting against Team Secret. It's been a wonderful game for them.
Regnum-Karya will be going down here, though, almost certainly. Loxy has a nade in hand. He's looking to try and get the cook on. Two maybe towards Team Secret, but they have 4 players. They're all above him on this ridgeline. They should know he's on this buggy. They'll send it out wide, and they're spraying already. I'm counting him out now, because he's dead. He's gone. He's out of that. Now, Team Secret with an opportunity to play that ridgeline that I put so much stock in terms of that predictive power. I feel like Team Secret do have a big chance here, but the next circle,
let's see it,
is just around the corner, and it will dictate how this game goes. APG already starting to put their feelers over towards the northern side. With player still remains, and we're going across the river. Yangon Galacticus. I mean, it's like these circles want them to win this tournament.
100%. Yangon Galacticus have been chilling. I've seen them get active in the elimination feed a couple of times, right? With Smile from a distance, but not here and there. But it's like they've just been chilling. They're hanging out. They're in a great spot in the standings. They already have a point lead, even over second place, and even more so over third HyperX at 69. So for them, they don't need to do anything special. They just need to play good PUBG Mobile. That's exactly what they're doing. This game surely going their way. Meanwhile, in the southern portion, still
as a backy games मैं राम्रो खेल्नु पर्यो हुन्छ हो हेरौँ let's see guys के यो म्याच सिक्ने हो रोकाइ धेरै पछाडि हेरिरहेको थिएँ क्या मैले नो साउन्ड रे यो म्याच सिक्ने त्यही भएर रिस उठ्छ क्या म्याच सिक्ने कल गरेर म्याच सिक्ने के जान्थे यार रिस उठ्छ क्या म्याच सिक्ने कल गरेर म्याच सिक्ने के जान्थे यार म्याच सिक्ने पाउँदैन क्या म्याच सिक्ने साउन्ड मलाई थाहा छ नि मोमोजी अन्डीको पान मोमोजी आउँदैन क्या म्याच सिक्ने साउन्ड अब अन्डीको छोरा म्याच सिक्ने चुत